There's video assistant referees in rugby, and obviously I'm not close enough to rugby to know how good or bad it works there. But we know Hawkeye. Well. Fine, okay, fine. We know how Hawkeye works.
It's more stop-start though. So
I think those. I mean, that's what we spoke about last week, didn't we? That in the other sports, it doesn't seem to be that contention, and it may just be that this is a bedding in thing for the system, and it'll evolve hopefully this season. Like for the forthcoming season, they'll make changes, and then as we progress, it'll get better. We'll get used to it, and things will move on. So anyway, we have spoke about VAR and the handball for longer than I planned. So just very quickly before we move on, so in terms of the actual general performance, I mean, I felt the second half we were abysmal. I can't put it any other way. I think, and people are calling Mourinho out in terms of mentality and talking about mentality, and I have to agree. Now it may just be the mentality of the players, but it may be the mentality of him as a manager to motivate those players as well. I don't know. I don't think it's something that is isolated. You can't just blame the players. I think you need to look at everything in the round. I'm not so sure. Actually, I was so disappointed.
I'm not so sure. It was quite interesting. Earlier today, I watched the Steve Perryman Facebook pod, and he was talking about psychology and the mentality of playing football. And I'd recommend anybody to go and watch it because he's obviously very knowledgeable about football, and it was very interesting. And I think that there is a serious mental issue with our players. And this issue was around when Poch was there, and it's still there with Jose. And I think Jose's finding it hard to actually work out how to sort this out, because I'm not saying that he doesn't know what he's doing. I'm just saying I just think it's a big issue, and it's going to take a while to get it right.
In what way? And what do you mean? Is it a winning mentality? They don't know how to win. They don't care, or what do you think there?
No, I think it's actually more to do with the mentality that, and he said this after the game, when we had that handball situation, the heads went down.
Yeah,
and I think he's absolutely right, because before that, I thought we were playing quite well, and in fact, in the first half overall, I thought we defended quite well. I thought we, apart from letting in that goal, I thought we were quite a balanced side overall. And in the second half, we came out, but I've been seeing this now for a couple of years. We are almost a two-half team. So we either play well in the first half or second half, and the other half, we just don't seem to turn up. And Sheffield just seemed to persevere, have the belief, and went on to win the game. And I think it was as simple as that, really, in a very kind of superficial.
What would you say, Simon, on that? Any thoughts?
Yeah, so, but then I wonder if this is all a kind of, it seems ridiculous to say this, but it's almost like are we still coming off a crest? I mean, we should have got off that crest like months ago, season ago. No. But we had 2-3 seasons ago, we had amazing opportunities. We've got higher than as a club than we'd ever had been before. Had some great runs at the Champions League, etc. And then it all started. Then it kind of has fallen apart so abruptly that I think that it's more than just a bad game. Put our arms around each other, and we're all right. I think that they're almost looking around week by week and going kind of what's going on. We can't pull this back. If you look at what happened in the first half of the season before Poch went, it was sliding down the slope, which they could not stop. And I don't think that's necessarily just about having a bad day. I think you're right, is that something culturally has changed or has gone, and they're unable to get themselves out of it for any sustained period of time. I don't know whether that's, I don't know, I'm not going to pin that on any particular individual, because I think it takes more than one person to make a team and a club, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those things. I always try to, when I see things that are happening at a club, I always try to imagine it in any other place of work or any other business. Yeah. And if something is if a business is sliding that's consistently, then there is clearly something that needs to change strategically and systemically within the organisation.
I think that's a really good
fighting
point.
around with a few players here and a manager there isn't going to change. I think there's something more endemic.
But I mean, obviously, within football clubs, if there's a problem, the first port of call is to change the manager. Now,
that's right.
It's been said. It's been played over social media this week. But Pochettino said that a painful rebuild was required, and I think it's interesting that you talk about the culture and it's not about individuals. And I think that word individual seems to be key from what I'm seeing at the moment in terms of what we are. When we were effective, Poch talked about the culture of the team and the unit, and no one person being more important than everyone else, and how important the unit was and working for each other. Yeah. And you saw that was evident in the high press and everything how we played. Everything about that suggested a team unit. And now, to me, it looks like we're just a group of individuals. No matter what, I just think we're a group of individuals.
I think part of the problem is that when we were being successful 3 or 4 years ago in the league and playing brilliant football, I'm not entirely sure we knew how we did it. I mean, Poch put together an incredible system, and he had all the players just ticking over and doing a great job. I think we overperformed, but I also think that when things started going wrong, we just didn't know how to fix it. It was almost like we didn't know how we were so good, so we also don't know why we were so bad.
Well,
and we still haven't fixed that. And I think this is what Jose has to try and do.
I think when we were, when we were good, we were good. I think we knew why we were good. I think, it was the team, as I say, it was the unit that was good. The fact that everyone bought into Pochettino's ethos, and his project, and I think it kind of, it kind of fell away where different people started to, have different thoughts, and there's some interesting. I can't remember who raised this typically because my memory's that bad, but there was like the conversation that's been had about where things fell apart. So for the players, where they sort of maybe slightly fell out of love with Pochettino, was the release of his book. Because when I read the book, I was like, fuck me, that's a bit close to the mark, and it's possible that that some of the players were affected by that, and then I think where it fell apart for Pochettino is where the club decided that we're going to do this this documentary. I don't think that sat well with him at all, and I think there were two. For me, there's two parts to the start of this slide where we're on.
But I don't think surely the documentary wouldn't have affected the way he managed the team and the success of the team. Do you think so?
I do. I think he's a private. I think he's a private man.
I think it was going wrong.
But you said a private man, and then you said about the book as well. So he released the book, and then I mean the amount of documentaries that have been done like this. I mean, I don't think, even if we look back, interesting, The Glory Game was the first of all of them, wasn't it? Which was the fly on the wall that Hunter Davis did.
Yeah.
And that was Bill Nicholson that let him in, and nobody would ever in a million years think that would have happened.
That's very true.
So I don't know. It's funny how history repeats itself then with that. But again, it's just been a really interesting season. I think Andy's right. I think we overperformed when we were at the time. And when we look back and you see the stats and the fact that how close we were to winning the league, I honestly didn't ever believe that we were going to win the league. We were never top, were we, that season?
No.
I don't think there was ever a point we were top. No. We were always just there, and then it just sort of fell up, but we never really believed it was going to happen.
I'd just like to point out that Arsenal were top for a very short period.
Yeah.
I think it was not even a week cycle. I think it was in between weeks for like 3 days or something like that, wasn't
yes,
it?
It was.
It wasn't actually for an entire cycle.
Yeah. Long enough.
Yeah. Just enough.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, recognise. But yeah, no, you're right. And I think the interesting thing about that, Paul, is that, you know, where you see a lot of, and we will touch on social media in a little while, but where you see a lot of people say, for example, when we lose a game, like, you know, bear in mind, we've only, like, since we come back, we've only lost one game. You know, we haven't lost everything. We've lost one game, and everyone's gone. You know, they've lost their shit as they tend to do. But, like, you know, we see a lot of, well, Kane will hand in his like transfer request, and who can blame him? And this one will go, and who can blame him? They deserve better. But actually, like, all of these players, now, whether it's bad management at the time or just the mentality that we've spoken about, but all, like, the players that we've got, and this is apparently part of the issue, that, you know, we've had the same players for 5 years and whatever, but these players as a unit have failed to get us over the line. You know, so how is it that they deserve better when actually when they were the ones that they could have given us?
This is always the case.
Right.
Always
100% right. But who's so? I mean, I've never seen that. But is that what you're seeing then? The people saying they deserve better than this.
Oh, yeah,
they deserve better than
yeah,
this. You're absolutely right. The buck stops with whoever's playing on the pitch at the end.
Of course.
I've seen a lot of who would blame Kane if he would if he was to leave. He deserves better. And I'm thinking, they are Spurs fans, and I'm not going to get onto Twitter, into a Twitter row about the logic of a discussion and calling out whether they're genuine Spurs fans to actually think, well, a player that we've got deserves to go to a different team in order to win something, and why would I not think bad of them? Because there's been so many times where I felt that we've been close. We've had players, and I thought, well, if we keep hold of that player and get another couple of players, but Steve, like, that's never going to happen. Leave it, fucking leave it. But, you know, you think, well, actually, if we'd managed to sell them, like, the dream that we're going to build a team around you, stay, then we would have that. And I've always thought, players have gone on and achieved. As a Spurs fan, I've never turned, actually, yay for you. Why didn't, I'm really happy that you've gone on. I want them to have had that success with us. You know,
of course. Spurs, absolutely. Yes.
Why would I ever turn around and think, right, well, actually, you deserve better and go elsewhere? You know?
That's right. That's right.
Never, that's never going to be the case.
I thought that about Paulinho, but that was for other reasons.
Yes, Simon.
I think there's a level of short-sightedness, I think, with some, and I think all fans have this guilt with guilty of this with their own clubs, which is, in that example, Harry deserves better and he should hand his notice to go elsewhere. Okay, where? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a massive point.
But they've said that. They even said where the tweet was Sergio Aguero is either he's getting old or he's due to leave Man City. Mm-hmm. So who would begrudge like Harry if he went to, Man City? Yes, I would begrudge him if he went to Man City.
Absolutely.
I would begrudge him. I fucking would begrudge him. I wouldn't be happy seeing him coming back and playing in a light blue or whatever the hell.
No.
Like the rhubarb and custard bloody kit that they're wearing.
And
that's fine coming from you, Steve, in your top at the moment. Sorry, on brand. It looks great on you. It's slimming.
It is. I put this picture up on Twitter of me in this top, and someone went, bloody hell, you look like you've lost weight.
There you go.
Now it's just a triple extra large top.
Okay, so there's one option, but there aren't. Are there many options where you could pick out a bunch of players and say, they could go elsewhere and do better? There aren't that many options.
No, there aren't. No.
So,
I mean, if you look at Real Madrid at the moment, they're actually apparently having to sell loads of players because they're in financial difficulty because of
Hold on, boys. Are we trying to find Harry Kane a new club here? This is making me really uncomfortable. It's like, okay, well, now where can he go? Now, Real Madrid, I know we could send him to Juventus.
Yeah,
he's not
exactly.
going anywhere. Keep him where he is. Don't give him any ideas for crying out loud.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so let's just sum up on Sheffield United. All right,
God, not again.
We're still going on about that.